and they were waiting for market access, and light bulb went on. I fly back to California, talk to craft chocolate makers, and coincidentally at the same time, there was a craft chocolate revolution unfolding, where various chocolate makers. These are not your Cadbury's or Hershey's, these are small operations. They were looking at single origin cocoa beans. So with that information and learning a little bit about making chocolate, bringing my wife into it, we actually came back in 2014 with the assistance of Investment Fiji, Ministry of Trade and Ministry of Agriculture. We were able to identify sites which were previously farmed for cocoa. Now, up until 1987, we had a thriving industry, right? We exported approximately 500 metric tons. We engaged about 3,000 farmers. The land was there. So the whole impetus was that this is going to be a market-driven revival. The fact that we are not going to be competing with the global commodities, which is, the major producers such as Ivory Coast or Ghana, but that we would market Fiji cocoa as a fine cocoa at a premium price. And, that has taken off well, very well. And, some of those initial individuals, chocolate makers I talked to, they came to Fiji, they looked at it, they fell in love with it. They have become my clients. Yeah, still keep in touch and keep abreast of industry trends. So this has been ongoing success. We do need more cocoa beans.
Right. And so what would you say would be some of the key factors that have contributed to your success? I mean, globally, you're winning awards. You've got a good brand presence globally, a strong brand. What are some of the things that are contributing to your success?
Sure, Greg. Well, there's two models. One is you let the farmers farm and centralize the processing of it. You let them farm as well as do the processing, which is quite tricky. Farmers should focus on farming. Yeah. And we learned from the very beginning. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention that I went to another country like similar to Fiji, Belize, to learn all about cocoa farming.
Right.
And the model we adopted from there was we will let the farmers focus on farming and empower them and train them to increase their yields, but we will buy the wet seeds. Yeah. The baba, they call it. So Fijian, and we'll buy it within the time frame for purposes of quality, and we'll ferment it, which is the main processing, to remove the bitterness and the acidity and to develop the flavor profile. And that has been the key.
So that's quite interesting because obviously your relationship with the farmers is a key driver of your success. And if I look at your branding, you've got provincial-based branding, which I think, again, it probably sticks to your relationship with the farmers. Maybe you can explore that, talk a bit about that.
Definitely. So we started off marketing Fiji as an origin, and then we broke it down into different origins within Fiji. We started off in Briketi, Madwata, and we promoted that origin. And there's a following of that origin globally. They would say, we just want the Briketi beans. Yeah. Similarly, we have done it for Reki, and of course, not to mention the once thriving capital of cocoa, which is Talegu. We have come out with that flavor as well. They produce some of the finest beans. As a matter of fact, we are educating them on the varietals, which is Trinitario cacao is considered a fine cacao and it's preferred in the world market. So it's found prevalent in Talegu, areas of Reki. And we Vanua chocolate, which is the value-adding, which came in 2018, because we want to diversify the market. We take the chocolate back to the farmer, and educate to them the reasons why we do what we do. And they really appreciate it. They love it. They love our model, because of the fact that they can just focus on farming.
What would you say some of the challenges you face starting up? Let's put COVID aside, but up until you've had a pretty meteoric rise. Right. So that would be, I think, interested to hear what some of the challenges that you faced with.
Well, returning back from California, a developed nation, you have higher expectation.
Yeah.
So initially you will have some frustration coming to Fiji with a high expectation. I urge the investors, to lower the expectation a little bit. We are a developing country, and we made great strides.
Yeah.
And choosing right partners, I was able to overcome initial frustration and adjust myself to the little bit of the Gula lifestyle. But my eyes was on the prize in terms of quality. So those was initial sort of frustration, and of course the knowledge base. At a good point in time, we used a consultant from Hawaii. Again, my hats off to stakeholders, Ministry of Agriculture. For my presentation, they took me to different sites, and we went to Triketi, primarily on the fact that we found people who knew about global farming, they knew about the process, and the fact that they had a great product. I think it's the three Ps, which has been also a factor for success. So we have overcome that. Obviously, there will be challenges, but the benefits, I think, at the end of the day, if you look at it, really outweighs some of the challenges.
And the elephant in the room, how has kind of COVID affected the business over the last 12 months?
Surprisingly, we are all aware that the food industry hasn't been affected. The National Confections Association has actually reported, you'll see that the demand for chocolate has gone up 12% for premium chocolate. So it's a feel-good kind of food that impacts your mood positively. So our sort of export hasn't been affected in terms of demand. Just some shipping costs, we've seen surge in prices, and we have discussed it with our buyers to absorb the cost.
Okay. So I guess what does success look like for Cacao Fiji in the next kind of 12 months?
So the next 12 months, that's a great question. What we'd like to do, and I think we've started the year on a positive note, is work with Investment Fiji, work with the Ministry of Trade as well. What the Ministry of Trade has done, I'd like to acknowledge the Department of Cooperative. They have suggested a cooperative model. I'd say about they've had some success. The cassava chips. Around television.
Yes, that's right.
The series. We have we're discussing with them, but we also discussed with the Y cooperative in Reiki. We had the meeting this week. Let's say this week, and the following week, we started our buying program.
Right.
So what we'd like to do is increase our farmer base.
Right.
We would like this to be a smallholder farmer industry, which it was.
Yeah.
We had over 3,000 farmers. I'd love to see us actively working with about 500 farmers in the next 12 months. If we do a cocoa acceleration program, we can increase that to maybe 1,000.
Yeah.
Our market demands are about 100 metric tons.
Right.
So I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah.
I truly believe this is an industry that can be revived. We should revive it. The demand is there. So hopefully we'll capitalize.
It's an exciting opportunity. And I think probably one of the things I'm taking away is that your fundamental understanding of some of the nuances of the value chain is giving you the ability to supply and produce such a good product. But maybe if we've got to have a look at some questions and see if there's any burning questions from. There was one about the tax percentage after 13 years. We can email the whole tax regime to Mr. Mosese after this. It's a flat rate tax system, government tax system. Yeah. Do you want to open it up to questions from the participants? Questions? Everyone's gone all quiet. Such an exciting opportunity. Apart from now you've seen and you've been in this space for a few years now. What other opportunities in manufacturing do you think has the ability to grow in Fiji?
Right, Greg, I think we have enormous opportunities. As per the presentation earlier, there's a growing demand for superfood. One of the products we have is the sort of cacao nibs.
Right.
This is considered a superfood. We recently exported 50 kilos to New York.
Right.
I hope that's going to expand to our brewery. This is another product we've come up with, is the turmeric powder.
Right. Yeah.
And we have actually recently exported fresh turmeric, sample of fresh turmeric to US, and they require a minimum of 2 inch or bigger. And so the smaller ones just haven't thrown it away. We've actually processed it into powder.
Yeah.
And this is a new product. We're hoping to market it to cafes and export it. Makes great cafe lattes and smoothies. You can also use it for cooking. Yeah. It's got that authentic Fijian taste. So these are some of the exciting opportunities. But I would say that what we are doing to cocoa can be done to coffee.
Yeah.
In terms of single origin coffee, and development of flavor profiles. I think Kava still has great opportunity as well.
Yeah.
And I think the investors, they can bring their skill sets and their market research of what is the demand in their markets, and they bring their sort of expertise, introduce technology to agriculture.
Yeah.
And create sort of economies of scale, commercial farming to export. I mean, you could have. I mean, I'm even looking at avocado.
Yeah, great.
And the opportunities are enormous. It just all depends on what the investor is looking at.
So we've got a couple of questions from our team in Japan. Do you have any market expectations in Japan, the Japanese market?
Yeah, I know Japan is also evolving a craft chocolate sort of culture. And we have talked to a few people. For some reason, it hasn't connected. And Ashnil works with Investment Fiji, maybe we'll connect with him and send a sample, and hopefully he can help us open the Japanese market.
And another question from Ashnil is the products, have we got profiles on those? We can make those profiles available to you. So you've got the cacao nibs, you've got the turmeric, and obviously these are the finished product, the chocolates. Right front and center is the Tailebu dark chocolate. So you can see just the quality of the product. I think it's right for some premium distributorship. There's a question from our High Commissioner for you. He's not going to give away too many trade secrets.
Your Excellency, Mr. Mera, what we'd like to do is we'd like to grow the industry via smallholder farmers. And we've got a great product. The demand is quite high. What we need to do is actually increase supply. So I'd love this to be a smallholder farmer of about 1,000 farmers in the next 2 to 3 years. Hopefully increasing our exports to about 100 metric tons. Then, we need to work together to see if we can increase it further, bring it back to the glory days of approximately 500 metric tons. So this is an industry which could be very viable. Most of it is in the rural areas. It impacts their social lives. So I'm quite excited about that. Apart from making money, I think I urge our diaspora to come back and sort of make an impact. That has been satisfying for us. That's very satisfying.
That's great. And a question from our Trade Commissioner in the US. In terms of the product innovation space, value-added processing with other agricultural commodities, what do you see as some other opportunities? I mean, you're obviously making great inroads in this range. Obviously, one that springs to mind is kava, and so apart from we can talk kava, but what are the other ones that you think are opportunities to provide that real niche innovation space for Fiji to dovetail into our premium brand?
So his question, if I understand, is more focused on value adding.
Yeah.
So, when we got into cocoa, for example, as a product, the value adding possibilities almost endless. From chocolate, as we all know, it's a primary ingredient in cocoa. We also have cocoa nibs. The cocoa husk can be used as tea, and also cocoa powder. So those are some of the things we are thinking about, and we are happy to partner up. Make this happen. But as far as kava, I think we'll probably come up with a branding of Fiji chocolate and Fiji kava. Hope to penetrate some big markets. For example, US is particularly a big market. And as far as exporting our chocolate, we want to be ready for that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what we are ramping up. Right now, we are letting our chocolate makers use our cocoa beans. We work with over 50. And, I tell you, this Fiji cocoa chocolate doesn't last because of the fact that we send a shipment and there's inquiries for more shipments.
That's wonderful. There's a question there from Zaki Nasir. Question is to Kamal, but I'll answer it. It says, due to travel restriction to curb the pandemic, there are restrictions for entrance to foreigners to Fiji. Is there any regulations for entrance of investors who wish to participate in projects? There is a channel that you can follow. It's quite a speedy channel in terms of processing. We have a COVID risk management team. We have facilitated a series of investors to come through in that channel. So that we can, through Kamal, we can provide you the details of that. Do we have any other questions? Maybe have you got any closing comments, gentlemen? Maybe we'll start with Kamal. What are some of the things that you think are opportune at this time for this product range, and then we'll come back to Arif for his kind of closing comments.
Thank you, CEO. I think fourth, we'd be happy to assist any investors that are keen to know more to this space, so they can get in touch with us and with my team, and we'd be happy to provide information that are relevant to the industry, and also what other products we can. I think somebody has already mentioned about moringa. There's another product that can be really looked at. Fiji has abundance of it, and there's there's a value-added product that are quite expensive in the world market at the moment. So we can look at products like that also. So there's a number of products we work on. So please get in touch. We'd be happy to connect with us, talk to you one-to-one, and see how we can assist.
And Arif, some closing comments from you?
Sure. I'd like to emphasize on the US market and also acknowledge Ambassador Seller for the past year has created so many bridges. One of those, Fiji Forward forums, the building of bridges with the buyers and the exporters was just almost direct. And I think there's a huge opportunity for value-adding. I think particularly they highlighted value-adding of ginger pickles. So we had the largest exporter of ginger, exposed to Costco, and he quickly jumped on the opportunity. So the opportunity is vast. I think the idea is to get in to the core product, whether it's ginger, turmeric, cocoa, or coffee. And there are variants of value-adding and opportunities which come along once you get into the space. So again, come, inviting our diaspora to come back, investors, loving making this trip back to Fiji, staying over here. My children love it as well. There will be challenges, no doubt about it. Nothing's easy. But I think overall, if you look at it, real estate is readily available. Real estate is reasonable. You can reasonably acquire agricultural land. And so the barriers to entry is very low. I think Fiji is always open for business.
And I think just to reinforce that, as you've proven, If you can get into understand the nuances of the value chain, you end up with a product like this. Our proximity to markets, our connectivity. I mean, when borders are open, we have daily flights into the Americas, into Asia, into Australasia, around the Pacific. We've got a fantastic shipping connectivity. Whether you're bringing in raw materials from Southeast Asia or pushing product back into Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, directly into the west coast of North America. So we've got a highly literate workforce, over 90% literacy level here in Fiji, and 50% of our population under the age of 25. So you've got this core human capital to take your investment and your product journey through the duration of the of the life cycle of the business. So with that, we will probably invite some questions. I can see there is a number of people wanting to ask audio questions. Just for housekeeping, that makes it quite difficult. So those who are wanting to ask specific questions, we ask you to do that through the info@Investment Fiji email address, please, and someone will call you back and discuss those with you one-on-one. So please don't think we're shutting you down. We just want to make sure that we can manage the discussion today. So please feel free to send those questions or inquiries through, and we will pick those up. And I know that Arif will only be too happy to connect with opportunities to do with his range of products and distribution to global markets and other business opportunities. So with that, once again, on behalf of the Investment Fiji team, thank you, Arif, and for coming and sharing your story and the work that you're doing for Brand Fiji. Thank you for those who've joined us from around the globe. We continue to thank you for your support of Fijian products, and please do not hesitate to contact Investment Fiji to continue on that journey.